This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this great webinar on women thriving in government contracting. Virginia Smith and I, Virginia, of course, is with the Small Business Administration, are happy to host this event in conjunction with Senator Kirsten Gillibrand's office. We also have Congressman Joe Morelle here with represented here today, as well as New York State Assembly member Sarah Clark. So we're happy to have strong support on all levels of government when it comes to women in government contracting. Next slide, I'm going to go over the agenda. After our respective congressional state representative offices give us some information, we're going to go over some resource presentations, and then we'll get to our panel discussion as they discuss best practices with small business panels. Q&A, and then we plan on trying to get you out here promptly at 11 a.m. Next slide, please. So our first speaker is representing Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, Altia Robertson. Thank you, Altia, for joining us. Just a couple highlights about Senator Gillibrand. Her top priorities in the U.S. Senate include creating more well-paying jobs to rebuild the middle class, increasing access to good, affordable health care, and improving educational opportunities from pre-K to college or vocational training. I want to highlight her committee assignments. She's on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Senate Armed Services Committee, the Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, as well as Special Committee on Aging. And of course, one of her top issues is women's health. And again, representing the senator is Altia Robertson. Altia, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to join all of you for the Women Thriving in Government Contracting webinar. My name is Altia Robinson, and I'm the Regional Assistant for Senator Gillibrand. I'd like to recognize Anna Vulai and the Monroe County Finger Lakes PTAC. The work done here is an invaluable resource to many small businesses in our region, and we appreciate all your efforts in making the federal contracting process efficient and easy, especially for businesses here. So thank you for all the hard work that you do. For many years, the federal government has grappled with reaching its metrics of federal contracting to small businesses. Senator Gillibrand is a very strong supporter of businesses in New York, and we are working to cut as much red tape for you all as possible. For many small businesses in Rochester and around the country, many small businesses in Rochester and around the country continue to face financial challenges because of the pandemic. We have been working with the administration to address pandemic-related supply chain distributions and bottlenecks. We know the way to fix our supply chain is to make more here in America. The more we invest in local American companies and increase domestic production, the more it reduces our reliance on foreign supply chains. It's also good for businesses, it's good for consumers, and it helps build our middle class. It has a multiplier effect and creates a new business opportunity for all of you. That is why Senator Gillibrand is fighting for the Made in America Manufacturing Communities legislation. This will designate eligible consortiums as manufacturing communities, which will be made eligible for federal funding and assistance designed to expand and support domestic manufacturing. We will continue to fight for small businesses and opportunities to cut through the red tape and make the federal government more of a resource. On behalf of the senator, I would like to thank you all for taking the time out of your schedule to attend this meeting, and we wish you all nothing but success in your future endeavors. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Altia, and we sincerely thank the senator for her continued support of the procurement technical assistance centers across the country. Thank you very much for being here. So up next, joining us from Congressman Joe Morelle's office is Kaylee Benedict. Congressman Morelle represents New York's 25th Congressional District, which includes almost the entirety of Monroe County. And he's a lifelong resident of upstate New York, a former small business owner, and previously elected to the Monroe County Legislature, as well as the New York State Assembly. His committees and caucuses are numerous. I'm going to mention his committees. Representative Morelli serves as a member of the House Committee on Rules, the House Committee on Budget, and the House Committee on Armed Services, as well as the House Committee on Education and Labor. He has numerous caucuses. I want to quickly mention Women in STEM, Equality, Sustainable Energy and Environmental Coalition, Optics and Photonics, and the list is large. And Kaylee, thank you so much for being here. And we thank the Congressman also for his support of the PTAC and all the vital business issues and government contracting.
Sure. Well, thank you so much, Anna. Thank you for having me, and hello, and thanks to all my partners in government, Sarah, Altia, Virginia. It's great to see everyone. So as Anna mentioned, I'm Kaylee Benedict. I'm the District Director for Congressman Morelli. Just want to start off and say Happy International Women's Day to everyone. It's great to be here. As Anna mentioned, the Congressman serves on the House Armed Services Committee. And one of his top issues is diversity in the industrial base. That's something that comes up time and time again. And in particular, when we're looking at the DoD and the defense industrial base, there really have been a number of new initiatives focused on diversity. Last week, potentially some of you guys joined us for a webinar that we hosted with NASA and PTAC, talking about their Artemis program, which is seeking to land the first woman and person of color. And we're seeing a lot more of these opportunities pop up. But I think in order to kind of achieve these diversity goals, both from a programmatic perspective and the perspective of strengthening our defense industrial base, our goal is to just kind of work together with you and your businesses to make sure that you have the support that you need. I know Anna and her team really does an incredible job at the granular level, knowing the ins and outs of contracting and certification, and supporting all of you and just kind of navigating the process. But we're here to help you as well and to support you, whether it's through an NDAA ask or, just kind of even an introductory meeting so that we can find out more about the work that you're doing. The past 2 years have really been a struggle for all of the businesses in our community. I'm assuming, many of you, especially those in kind of critical industries, have been juggling a lot, with your business and your families. We see you, we know it hasn't been easy. Our office has really been trying to not only support folks in the business space, but support working families. We're on every piece of legislation we can, especially, looking at things like childcare, because we know that keeping women in the workforce is really critical, not just for our economy, but for our national defense as well. So in closing, I just want to say thank you for all the work that you're doing. Please reach out. Would love to learn more about your business, and hopefully we can find ways to work together in the future.
Thank you so much, Kaylee. Really appreciate the Congressman's support. Thank you. And next we have New York State Assembly member Sarah Clark. Sarah, it's great to have you here with us today. She's a lifelong resident of Rochester and has dedicated her entire career over the last 2 decades to public service. Prior to running for office herself, Sarah worked for the United States Senate, initially for Senator Hillary Clinton, and then for the past 8 years as Senator Kirsten Gillibrand's Deputy State Director. So she's worked tirelessly on numerous issues impacting community daily, including healthcare, high cost of prescription drugs, equitable public education, college affordability, just to name a few. Sarah serves on numerous committees in the New York State Assembly, including the women member. She's a member of the Task Force on Women's Issue. She's a member of the Legislative Women's Caucus, if I start with those, as well as numerous other committees that impact your lives on a daily basis. So without any further ado, Sarah, thank you for joining us here again today.
Thank you so much, and thanks, Anna, for all literally you do every day to help our businesses, and particularly our women-owned businesses in the Rochester Finger Lakes region, to strengthen them and make sure they're connected to one of the largest purse strings, which is government contracting, both at the federal level and at the state and local level as well. I think I've been trying to figure out how many years I've been coming to this event, and I really can't figure it out because I did start in Senator Gillibrand's office, and it was a yearly occurrence to do with Anna and Virginia Smith at the SBA, and just feeling really empowered. So first, happy International Women's Day. I kicked off my morning with our first woman governor, and many of our women legislative partners in the Assembly and Senate, as well as our commissioners and top level executives in the New York State executive branch. So it has been an inspiring day to see how far we've come as women in government, but we have to do it across all our industries and make sure everyone is feeling supported. One of the things I've learned, whether you're running for office or opening a small business or running a small business, is that information is key. And there is this feeling oftentimes that people know things that you don't know, or that it's overwhelming, not really easily navigated and really understood very well or accessible. And one of the things I really enjoy and love about this event and the others that are done by PTAC and the services they provide every day is making that a little more manageable, making that a little less scary. Information is key. Understanding where it's at, having someone who will help you walk through the process can be a game changer. So I really appreciate everything that's done every day to support our small businesses. The state, obviously, we have our own MWBE certification program, as well as what we're doing to try to do set-asides. A lot of infrastructure dollars and other money comes through the state, and it's up to us to make sure it's getting to women-owned businesses as well. We have had issues in the past with that program. We're trying to make sure it's better, and we'll continue to do better and make sure we're getting all the information to anyone who's interested as we continue to do that. I'm just super excited. I'm inspired every day by our women who run businesses. Again, I want to echo what Kaylee said from Congressman Relly's office. One of the things we talk a lot about here is childcare, and there's going to be some game-changing ways in our budget that we're going to help address that. But we've seen millions and millions of women leave the workforce over the last 2 years, and care issues are one of the big reasons. So whatever else we can be doing outside of the daily work to keep your business running so that you don't have to worry about it, think about it, figure out how you're going to afford it, I think goes a long way. Running a business is hard. My dad did it my whole life, and so I understand it really well. I don't think we ever saw him after dinner. He always went back to work. It is almost like another child. So congratulations to all of you for being here, for running businesses. And again, Courtney Renford from my office will stay on throughout the whole webinar. And if there's any questions or any way our office can be helpful, please let me know. Thank you so much.
Sarah, thank you so much, and thank you for your support. As you've grown from support staff and running an office to an elected official, it's a great story. So appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Up next, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Virginia Smith, with the U.S. Small Business Administration. Welcome, Virginia. Happy International Women's Day. I think your mic needs to go on.
Okay, technical challenge averted. I was just saying thank you again to the PTAC, and I, listening to our representatives, listening to Sarah, and then our representatives from Morelli's office and Gillibrand's office, it really is, it takes a team, and we've got a great team with the PTAC and SBA, but also the support of our representatives in the state and in the federal government to really move women business forward. So just thank you all, and hopefully we can get you some great feedback today from some of our businesses who are just really thriving in the government contracting world. If you're not familiar with SBA, we're going to do a super quick infomercial. We do three main things. We help get money in your hands, we help provide counseling and training, and we help increase federal contracting opportunities. It's sort of our role. We are the only agency dedicated just to small businesses. Next slide, please, Mercy. All right, so we do that by making sure that 23% of federal contracting dollars go to small businesses. The government purchases over $500 billion every year. We want to make sure that 23% of that is going to our small businesses. We have lots of certification, well, lots, for our 8A, our hub zones, our service disabled veteran-owned business, and our women-owned business. And the idea is if you have these certifications, it helps the contracting officers be able to make sure that they meet that goal of 23%. Next slide, please. And that was really all I wanted to talk about, because the certifications, they do matter. Anna and I do a lot of webinars and a lot of conversations about them, and that is not why we're here today. We're here today to listen to some of our fellow women speak about the success that they've had. Just as you are aware, that's my email address if for some reason something comes up and you have some questions. And of course, we have all kinds of internet-based information for you. And we also have a monthly or weekly newsletter that if you're not on, we want to make sure that you do, because that way you can get a lot of the events and things that are coming up, because I think we have 5 or 6 events this month in celebration of women-owned small business. So with that, Anna, I think you're up next.
Before you go, Virginia, though, can you quickly mention this great program that the SBA is launching as it relates to government contracting and financing, if they have a signed government contract?
Aha. You know what? I actually don't have enough detail on that, Anna.
Okay. But so anyway, coming forward, right? Looking forward, keep an eye out, more details to follow. It's going to be a great assist for government contractors looking for loans once they have a signed contract. So
We have that available right now. Coming forward, it might be a little more details, but right now, if you do have a federal government contract, well, actually, if you have any contract, a lender can lend money based on that contracting opportunity, as long as you have that in hand, so they can take a look at where you're going and when you will get paid, and your repayment would be based on that contract. So they have the ability to do it right now. We're looking into some special details, which is why I was kind of like, oh, Anna, for potential very particular ones for the federal space, but right now lenders can do that. And then super quick, since you mentioned it, the state already has something very similar with their state, I want to say transportation and construction contracts. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can put it in the Q&A and we can get you more information, or you can give us a call.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep.
And so in terms of other resources, Assemblywoman Sarah Clark mentioned, the state does have their own certifications, and I'm sure many of you are familiar with New York State's Division of Minority and Women's Business Development when it comes to getting certified. But if you haven't heard, recently announced Monroe County, in conjunction with the City of Rochester, based on the Race Commission and through their Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, has launched and is actively seeking businesses to be certified through Monroe County as a minority or women-owned business, and has increased set-asides for county contracts. So I highly encourage you to, by the way, you're all going to be receiving a copy of this recording as well as the slides, so you have contact information. But I highly encourage you to get certified if you're not already certified with Monroe County. I believe they're working on getting the fast track process if it's not already in place, if you're already certified with New York State. So Matt Burrell is a key contact. Some of you may remember him from the PTAC. So you're in good hands, and we can help answer any questions there as well. Next slide, please. Also wanted to highlight, since the Procurement Assistance Center for Monroe County Finger Lakes is hosted by Monroe County, even though we cover the 9-county territory, there are a host of economic development incentives for businesses. So please make sure, if you're doing anything to expand your business in any way, or looking for any type of building assistance, if you're buying equipment and so forth, contact the Economic Development Department here in Monroe County and reach out to them, and they can assist you. Lydia Burr is the Senior Economic Development Specialist. Raquel Mikel Castillo is the Economic Development Specialist that you want to reach out to. It's kind of alphabet soup, so I just encourage you to give them a call if you're planning on doing any changes. Likewise, I know not everybody on the call is probably in Monroe County, but I encourage you to reach out to your county economic development department as well. Next slide, please. So a few things about the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. I'm going to go through it rather quickly. So we provide one-on-one counseling to businesses who want to sell to the government, as well as networking and training. Next slide, please. So we're a program of the Department of Defense, and we serve as a resource for all businesses, not just small businesses, pursuing and performing under government contracts at no cost. And we're able to do that thanks to the support of Senator Gillibrand, as well as the support of Congressman Joe Morelli. So thank you both to them who support this program year after year. So we work with all businesses, as I mentioned. We work very closely with agencies such as the military, other government agencies, prime contractors, and partner organizations. And if you're not sure who your local PTAC is, just send me an email, or you can follow those links below, and we'll get you linked up with the proper one. Next slide, please. So as I mentioned, our focus is training, networking, and one-on-one counseling. The majority of our work is done in the one-on-one counseling arena. Everybody is different. All businesses have a different focus. So we're going to work with you to really assess and determine which avenue you should go in terms of your government marketing plan and where you may need assistance. Everybody's coming into the government contracting arena at different levels. Some may be brand new, some may be experienced, some may be relaunching. So we're here to assist you in all those areas and make sure that you have the assistance you need. We work closely with specialists such as, packaging and labeling, things like that. We do the certifications. We do all the certifications with you one-on-one. Mercy, who's on the call, Mercy Morrison, here, she's an expert here at the PTAC and those, and she'll really get you through very quickly. But we can talk to you about all those services. You can go to our website for more details. Next slide, please. So we did get through that pretty quick, Virginia, and we want to make sure that, as Virginia said, that we're getting you to our panel discussion. And I'm going to turn it over to Virginia, who will be moderating the panel and introducing.
Sure. So thanks, Anna. So we actually are really lucky today to have three, I just think very successful business owners who have been navigating quite a while through what we've been going through the next 18 months and really thriving in the government contracting arena. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but super quick, we have ABR Wholesalers, Jody McGarry. And Jody, I know that you are traveling at some point today, so we appreciate you kind of fitting us into your schedule. We also have Joy Pacheco with Handle with Care Moving Services, and then Asante Brown with Steel Tech Fabricators. So Jody, I'm going to start with you if you want to just give us a little bit of your background and about your business.
Okay. My name is Jody. Our company is ABR Wholesalers. We're a wholesale distributor of heating, ventilating, and air conditioning equipment. We sell directly to the installing contractor or mechanical contractor, who then works for the prime. So being a supplier, we have 3 locations, Rochester, Buffalo, and Syracuse, and we have a ton of inventory, probably about $7 million in inventory, from air conditioning units to nuts and bolts. And we're able to help our customers reach their goals with our variety of products. I originally got started in 2005. I had a friend that owned a mechanical contractor, and he'd been bugging me for years. You should get your WBE. I always said, why? What's the difference? I'm same as everybody else. But he didn't force me. I went and did it. And what it led to was a 700 unit project up at Fort Drum. And ever since then, things have been going pretty good. I had a lull for about 3 years where I didn't have my WBE. Anna, thank you, helped me get it. And I don't know, we've got 62 employees, and it's a great industry to be in because everything's always changing.
Okay. I love that intro. Why government contracting? Because it opens up doors. And yes, Jody, I got your point. You're the same as everybody else, but we're all also really unique, right? So
Yes,
why
we are.
us? And it's always good to have a certification, just in case you need it. Really.
That's right. And
All
I've
right.
been here for many, many years, so I have been running the company for many, many years, so it's pretty exciting for me.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Joy, do you want to do the same thing? Give us a couple minutes about your business.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Handle with Care actually started in 2018, though we really didn't do much work then. I was immersed in the process of trying to learn the industry. We do residential and commercial moving and relocations. And we also do contracted labor services for developers, property managers, management companies, realtors, colleges and universities, and all levels of government. We are also a member of the National Association of Senior and Specialty Move Managers, commonly known as NASM. And we have earned the designation as a senior and specialty move management company. And what that entails is working with senior adults as they navigate through the aging process and encounter a number of moves. So we actually work with them in moving, relocating, and in aging in place. With that certification, we provide specialty services as well to individuals with disabilities, separating couples, and unexpected company layoffs and shutdowns. Our most recent government contract was with Fortran, and I have to say that Anna was a wealth of information, support, and help. And that contract seemed overwhelming in the beginning, but once I took the time to really look at it, I mean, our core services fitted within what they were looking for. But what concerned me was the logistics. How do we deliver the services? And by doing further investigation, sitting down with it, and just being creative, we were able to get the contract and deliver the services on time. And we did a great job.
And that's really important. On time and do a great job in the government space. Thank you, Joy. Asante, do you want to? I'm trying to find you on my screen.
Hi.
Would you like to talk about Steel Tech Fabricators?
Yeah, of course. My name's Asante. I'm the account controller, so I really look at all the contracts. I handle money coming in and out of the company. We are a structural steel company that erects like the framework of buildings up to like 3 stories. And then we also do miscellaneous metals like stairs, railings, guardrails, that type of stuff as well. My father and my brother started the company in 2006 when I was too young. And I've more recently assumed this role and really helped them grow and expand. Most of our contracts, we're a sub to a prime, and we do schools, government buildings and offices. So like Anna has really helped me assume this role and like kind of know what to look out for, what to do, and also like add a lot of structure and organization to our company because 2 men running it, it was a little chaotic, or organized chaos, they like to call it. So Anna has been super helpful with just like getting me on board, up to speed, and like kind of know what terminology, what to do, what like basic structures we need in a thriving, expanding space like this. So she's been super great with that.
I love it. I love all of the positivity for the PTAC, and absolutely, I mean that is hands down why they're here is to help. So the success stories is fantastic. So I'd like to kind of take a look at these 5 questions and see if there's anything in particular. And we're going to have some time for Q&A. If you want to type a question into the chat bar, please feel free. Mercy's monitoring that for us. But in the interim, just kind of want to talk about successes and challenges that you have may had in the past 18 months, and I'm going to work backwards. So Asante, how's it been going? You know, we're still here, and you know the economy is still going on. But what have you been up to, and anything in particular that really stands out that the company has had to work through?
So I was thinking about like COVID and construction and how we kind of fit into all of that. Especially in the beginning, there was a lot of delays and setbacks because like people weren't allowed to be on site, continue their contracts, but then there was this delay or an expectation that we were supposed to still stick to the timeline. So in the beginning, it was just like mad chaos, just like trying to fulfill all of the timeline requirements that were initially set, although like everybody had setbacks. And then of course there's been so much vitality with like supply chain and the prices. So like every other day, like, the price of steel has gone up, gone down. So like those were like kind of our biggest challenges, just trying to like stay afloat, stay on top of things, stay organized, and just like know that every day something's changing. I think our success has been like our partnership with PTAC. She's really helped me like expand and diversify our revenue or like our avenues of revenue, because before we were pretty strictly structural steel, but now we are doing more miscellaneous metals. We're doing smaller projects just to get our feet wet and diversifying like who our primes are, and like so we're not stuck with like the same 3 general contractors every time. So like we got a line card out, we got a capability statement, to send out, and that has really helped us, not be so narrow. And then she really helped us with market research, to like just really finding another niche or like another spot in the market that we can occupy, so we don't fall victim to just being structural steel, although like that is our bread and butter, but like it's also good to have like backups and other things going. I think one of our biggest challenges was, like I mentioned, like the workforce, especially during the beginning of COVID. And then now I think a lot of people are struggling to figure out like what they really want to be doing with their life. So our workforce has definitely declined, and we've been trying to tackle that by creating new partnerships with like Edison Tech, where they have a program for kids or high schoolers that are interested in welding, and then having them shadow us, see if this is a field that they want to go into. And it's also good to have people that look like us see like what they can be. So then we have Edison Tech coming through, and Moco, and having kids see other avenues that doesn't necessarily mean college for them, and that has really helped with like getting more workforce in. I mentioned the supply issues, which that's out of our control, but just trying to stay on top of it and like looking for other suppliers. And then the rising costs for material, labor, all of that have been like some of our biggest challenges like over the last 18 months.
Fair enough. I've heard some of the congressional representatives mention a few of those things that they're working on, because they've noticed small businesses have encountered them. Joy, the past 18 months, what's been going on with you?
Well, actually for us, especially 20 and 21, it's been busy because people still have to move. So so we have kept pretty busy. When I look back to try to figure out what our biggest success and our challenges were, I have to go back to Fort Drum. I think that contract presented us with not only the biggest success we had to date, but also our biggest challenge. Fort Drum is 3 hours away, And again, I knew we could deliver the core services. They were looking for a company to come in and clear out a barrack that they were going to rehab. It appeared huge, but it fell well within the scope of our services. We could do it. It was the logistics, getting a crew up there. It was a 5-day contract. Started Monday. The contractors that were doing the construction were coming in on Friday. We had to be done. And the logistics of getting them there, housing them, the cost involved with that and feeding them for 5 days, it was daunting. So, but what I did was sat down and looked at the numbers and figured it out. And we managed to get a crew there. The second biggest challenge came when we got there, getting some of them on base. Part of our mission is to employ the underemployed and unemployed. And once they don't tell you beforehand who's qualified for getting on base and who's not. Once we got up there, we found that 2 of our crew members, including one of our crew chiefs, could not get on base. They would not authorize them to come on base, which was, again, we thought might be a setback. But we got creative. We had to subcontract another company because part of the move required some specialty services. And through that subcontract, we were able to identify a few casual employees that joined our team and enable us to get the job done. And that was our first big government contract. And we felt really great about it. And it worked well for us.
That's fantastic. One of the other challenges up Fort Drum is getting through the Tug Hill Plateau in the snow. So hopefully you didn't have to worry about that.
Well, but it was cold and rainy. It was in October.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Thank you. Jody, past 18 months, what's been going on? You might be muted. We can't hear you. Hello? Jody, are you having technical challenges today? It's hard for me to see you because the camera's far away.
Oh dear.
Oh, wait, there we go. We got you. Oh. Okay. Jody, we can't hear you anymore, so I don't know if you want to mute and then come back in.
I'm not sure what.
Yeah, you're fading in and out.
Okay, I'm assistance. I'll be right back.
Okay. Oh, wait, now we can hear you. One of the things we've learned for the past 18 months is how to be flexible. Jody, I can't tell. Did you sit back down? Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring it back. Joy, we're going to keep with you for a quick second. Did you have to, I know that your services were in high demand. Everyone needs to move. But did you have to pivot at all? Anything that you typically would do? I know that you said you pivoted to do a subcontract to get through Fort Drum, but anything else that you've kind of unexpectedly or had already planned to do these things? Joy, I think you're muted. There we
Sorry
go.
about that.
Yeah, no worries.
We just finished a local government move, and it was a warehouse move. Again, it was a situation where we walked in and we looked at the scope of work, and I'm thinking, oh, this is a big job. We knew we could do it, but we hadn't planned on, we had to get a forklift and we had to use pallet jacks in order to complete this move. So that was something that we hadn't planned on, at least right now. But again, we got creative. One of our employees is a licensed forklift driver. So we brought him in. on the team, and we got the job done. And again, it just broadened our experience. It kind of expanded us, being able to take these challenges on head on.
So I hear what you're saying is a lot of time, at least a couple examples are you went after a government contract and you won it and realized when you were in it, there was some new creativity that you needed to do in order to meet the goals.
Yes, yes. I think that for us, it's always been the logistics of how can we deliver our service. Early on, the first government contract I looked at was, again, a move job at West Point. And I looked at it and I said, physically, yeah, we can do this. But West Point is 5 hours away. So what's the logistics involved in getting a crew there for the time period and scope of work? So I kind of passed on that. And I decided that when the second one came along, I wasn't going to get hung up on the logistics. I was going to really spend some time and look at, okay, we can deliver this service. This is what we do. The question is, how do we deliver it? And I've gotten to really embrace that and sit down and look at that and see if, number one, it makes economical sense, and physically, can we do it?
I think that's a really important point is sometimes businesses, even in the government contracting space, you have to say, does this make sense for my business? Am I truly going to meet whatever your goal is, whether it's economic or employing individuals that might be a little harder to employ than others, whatever your goal is this really going to move my business forward? Especially in the government world, because you want to make sure you can fulfill that contract. Because if you can't, that tends to be a sliding point. So I think that's important. Jody, were you able to fix your mic? I don't know if everybody can tell she's on a tiny desk, so I can't see if she's there. I need my glasses. Okay. All right. So Asante, we're going to come to you. In the past 18 months, have you had to pivot or change any of the services or products that you guys have offered?
Yeah, so you guys can hear me, right?
Yep, we gotcha.
So we do structural steel, but we also do like fabrication of the members that would like go up to hold the structure or like the 3-story building up. But we did have a bit of a pivot during COVID where we did more miscellaneous, tinier projects just to like keep the guys occupied doing other things, especially like when we couldn't be on site. So we did a lot of miscellaneous metals, which are super easy to produce, like little plates and railings and stairs and that type of things. We have an older welder who knows the craft so well, but he was super excited to kind of like get back into like making really unique artisan type railings and stairs and like designs like that, because that's what he used to do in Italy before he came over here. So it was really cool to occupy a different space, do other projects, and be kind of like, something that is beautiful instead of just like the bone structure of a building that no one ever sees. So we did pivot a little bit in that sense that we diversified like our efforts instead of just doing like frameworks of buildings, but also like doing more miscellaneous decorative type metal fabrications as well. And that was good. It's also like great to put on the website, show that we can like do more than just throw up buildings, but like we can make more like artisan type work. So that was a really good pivot for us during COVID.
Do you think you'll grow in that capacity?
Yeah, like the Italian man loves it. So like we're always looking for more opportunities for him to like show off his skills, and we'll talk about that later. But like it's always great to try to like keep your employees happy. They're the most satisfied, and they won't leave you at that point. So we always try to like keep him content with his job, make sure like he's doing what he loves to do here. Because like if he's not, he'll probably leave us, and we don't want that either. So. Absolutely.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you. Jody, are you back with us? Jody. Okay, so we have about 5 more minutes and then we're going to get into questions. I know there's a couple in the chat. So I guess since we only have about 5, I'm gonna jump to the bottom. Top 2 tips for your fellow business owners. Asante, I'm gonna start with you. I think I may have heard your preview of one of them, but I don't want to jump the gun. So what do you have?
Yeah. So I think building and maintaining like a really good support network is so important. That way you could really trust and delegate to, your employees and people that you trust to continue your goals and like reach them. I think it's also important to like remind your team of their value because like an undervalued or unappreciated worker will definitely leave you. And I think at least here, I've known most of these men like all my life. They're like family to me. And I think the ones that stay are the ones that feel like family or an uncle or someone you've known the longest. So I always really believe in like, treating people like they're your family. They're going to be happy. They won't leave you. You won't be down a man. You won't be confused about like how we're going to meet this job on time. Like the people that you work with is what's going to uphold, your company and keep it going and moving. So that's probably my 2 biggest like tips.
Absolutely. Joy, what do you have to follow up with that one? You're muted. Now, somebody changed my view, so now I can kind of see better.
I go back to, looking at bid opportunities. I think that if something falls within the scope of your core services or products, don't be discouraged because of the other things around it. Take a look at it and see if there is a possibility that you can, again, get creative. I'm an artist by training. Get creative and deliver the service and deliver it well. So I look for bid opportunities every day. That's one of the first things I do when I turn on my PC in the morning, is to see what's out there and what might fit in with what we do. So I would say take a look at it and really look at it beyond the scope of work and see if you can meet the demand or meet what they're looking for. I think the other thing is use the resources available to you. A lot of times when I have a challenge or I don't know something, automatically I start, researching, trying to find out, okay, I need this information, where do I get it? And then I get an aha moment. Call Anna. She'll know. And so I have learned to put them top of mind because they have so much information. Anna's always there. She's willing to go beyond and getting you the information if you have had difficulty looking for it yourself. And I know that with the Fort Drum contract, I had trouble determining, okay, who's my real point of contact? And Anna came through and provided me with a name. And I would say use them.
I love it. All right. Hey, can you hear us now, Jody? Because I see a green light on your microphone. So I see you have a whole team in there now. Anna, help me out. Can you
Jody,
hear?
maybe you can try calling in that number on the invite. You want to just call in, say a few words? We have a few minutes.
Okay.
And while you're trying that, Virginia, maybe we can ask a few questions.
Well, there's a couple of
in
questions in the chat if Mercy wanted to bring those up.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mercy also put the phone number in the chat for you, Jody.
So let's see, one question says, hi, Joy. 2 questions, actually. And this is from Deidre Betson Griggs. How did you get into the transportation space? But I think you may have kind of answered this. And how did you build the capital necessary to complete these large contracts?
Okay, how did I get into it? My background has always been in corporate cash management. I spent 24 years working for banks. However, when I left banking, I actually started a job with RTS, our public transportation, here in Rochester. So I was around transportation. So I picked up some of that information. And then I had a friend that had a very successful moving business and was retiring and was willing to teach me the industry, to give me the information, work with me initially, and teach me the industry. So that's how I got into it. What was the second part of the question?
Capital. How did you build the capital necessary to complete the contract?
Well, in the very beginning, when the first year, when I was doing all this research, what I did was I paid down my debt, my personal debt, and had a business plan. And I went to my bank and I was able to get a line of credit put in place. I didn't use that line of credit until I got the Fort Drum contract. And it just sat there for, a couple of years. They never used it. And so I had the resources financially, but I was just kind of thinking ahead.
Right.
That's how I did it.
And Joy, I'm so glad you brought that up because everybody needs a business plan. And it becomes critical because when you go to the bank to ask for money, what do they ask for? Your business plan, right?
Yes.
And Virginia, can you tell us who can assist for free on business plans? This is my favorite plug.
So the SBA has resource partners with SCORE, which is greaterrochester.score.org. So they're a free business resource provider. And not only do they have a business plan on their website, but SBA has a business plan on their website. And SCORE is located in every territory, no matter if you're in Monroe County or somewhere else. So you can look them up. There's also a New York State Small Business Development Center near you. They're both free. And they can do it in person, online, over the phone, whatever works for you. And the more the merrier. It's your business, it's your decision, but the more people that you can have to bounce ideas off, the better off you are.
Yeah, and Google SCORE business plan template. It is amazing. Jody, can we hear you? Are you on the call?
Can you hear me?
Yay!
Yes, ma'am. Yay.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies. Some of the biggest challenges we've had over the last 18 months is supply chain. Our major equipment manufacturers went from like 2 weeks to 30, and getting product has been very, very difficult. So the advice I told our purchasing people, just don't cancel an order, keep placing orders. And now we've got a ton of equipment, which is perfect. The biggest success I think we've had over the years, or over the last 18 months, is that people are starting to realize that I have my WBE and that we have a full warehouse full of product. We do deliveries, we do job site deliveries, we package apartments. If there's 1, 2, 3, 4, we shrink wrap them and tag them, and it's been very helpful for our customers to, instead of dumping a bunch of product at the site, we separate it and organize it for them. So that's been a real help. Pivoting services, not really. March, April, and May were crazy, but thank God construction opened up in June, and we've been going very well since then. What else?
Top 2 tips.
Top
for your
2
fellow
tips.
business owners. Yeah.
Participate in all the Albany meetings. That was so helpful for me to get my WBE, and you get a face-to-face with the people. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience, as well as the local ones that Anna puts on. And be patient. I've had my WBE since 2005, and it's taken quite a few years for people to realize who I am and what I can do for them. So we've been good there.
It's a long game, right?
It is.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jody, and I appreciate your flexibility in calling in and figuring out how to get in touch. So thank you for that. I'm going to double check the questions. I know we had the 2 questions there. We have about 4 minutes left. We want to be respectful of your time. Is there anyone else who wants to unmute themselves or type a question in the chat box? Oh, and Anna's also putting in the chat box greaterrochester.score's website, so you can take a look for business plans. And that know that there's going to be an MWBE forum in Albany. That there's a new contact there. So we're going to, as Jody said, you know, there's a lot of information out there, and one of the biggest things is to kind of keep on tap with that. And the way to really do that is check Anna's website. She's really good at posting updated information. And then SBA's, our local website, has our calendar with events and things that are coming up too. So if anybody wants to unmute themselves, or Anna, you came back on, any last questions that you might have for your panelists?
Yeah, I just wanted to highlight a couple upcoming events. Mercy, I don't know if you can flip the slide up real quick. Otherwise, you can go to our website. We have, let's see, let me go there. One is on Defense Contract Audit Agency. So, you know, when you want to do business with the government, they want to make sure it's not a trap. They want to make sure that all your accounting systems are in place and meet all the government requirements that are out there when you're doing government contracting. So it's a great event that's coming up. Mercy, I don't know if you have the slide, but I guess, yeah, there we go. So that's on March 24th, the Government Contracting Defense Contract Audit Agency. And then we have something really unique. If anybody is into doing innovative technologies and looking at small business innovation research and tech, which is being highly encouraged, so we can begin to broaden and increase the industrial base, not just the industrial base, but the industrial base in general. We are going to have some scheduled live meetings for small businesses with Air Force Research Labs. It's going to be at our offices. If you're interested and want more details, please contact me quickly. That's all. Oh gosh, and October 3rd, save the date. We're doing our 2nd annual Department of Defense Forum and Matchmaker with Congressman Morelli. Okay, that's all I got, Virginia. What do you have?
I think that is a heck of a lot for sure. I don't even want to pretend to get their dates right for any of our events coming up. So I would make sure that you keep track of what Anna's got put on her calendar, as well as SBA's calendar on our district office webpage, which is, we are part of the Buffalo District Office, which covers Seneca County all the way to the lake and north and south. But again, if you are not necessarily from that area, we have a district office in Syracuse that you could look that one up as well. So with that, with 1 minute to spare, does anybody have anything very quick? But I'm just impressed with the 3 businesses. Ladies, thank you so much for taking your time, because we do realize that, you know, your hour of your time that you weren't working on your business, but hopefully all the people here found it as helpful as I did and as insightful. So we really appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all very much. Thank you to all our speakers. And happy International Women's Day. You should all celebrate the hard work that you do and contributions to our economies. And we greatly appreciate and look forward to working with you and helping you expand your business. So thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Anne.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.